there are things I know. Hello, Sequel, how are you? Christian standing quiet, you popped in, I don't know if you're still there observing. Somebody's been sitting there at the top of the chat called NOOOR observing. So, you will learn something from this conversation today. Most probably. Alex and you just sitting there observing. Alex Chest Whale. If you are, any of you are part of the occultism and members of...
Can't believe get a bloody plant in my life.
You will find all this out when you get to that 33 degree level. And you will go for your niche.
I'm just going to play the last part of this audio.
Get your enlightenment. You'll get all the money you paid into it. And you will feel like it's a club. And somebody just said, by that time, already sold.
Somebody doesn't trust a relationship. He goes quiet on me.
Yeah.
And then he...
Can I ask you, what do you think? What do you think about the rituals that they do in Freemasonry? Like, for instance...
Why would he ask me that?
You know, they have a noose around the neck. They have a noose around the neck to say that if you ever...
I've got an audio. I had to do this audio. And this isn't disrespect to somebody. Oh, it's a shame. Okay. Why would you say that about trigger words to me?
Go against us, we will kill you.
It's true.
You know, they have a noose around the neck.
A noose around the neck and they will kill you. These are trigger words of a handler. Military trained to get into your psychological mind.
It's true.
They have a noose around the neck. They have one part of the pants pulled up.
You can read that out of a book and you can watch videos like that, what goes on Freemasonry. It's the way you said it to me.
Or one leg. They have absolutely weird rituals, you know. They have some really weird rituals, and they have a pot in the centre of the room which has a book in it which has secrets which only the 33 degree Masons can read.
And the word 33. Sad, isn't it? And he can't trust anybody and he wants a relationship with me.
No one else is allowed to read it, but everyone knows it's there.
Right, when I married this guy, businessman, I was typical, you know, blonde hair, blue eyes, man in Morocco image only as a mum. Today, they know exactly that occult made sure I could try and again rebuild the relationship between her
and these triggering words. Trigger words.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, rituals, you know.
I hate to see of certain technology.
Then he disappears.
The programs.
What a shame.
All this is not dismissible because the future will be rolled out. I'm sure a lot of people, if you hear like, I mean, this is not to us trying to dismiss people's religion either, but just have a warning bell. I'm sure people are doing that. Like, so, yeah, do similar. People are so similar in that way of thinking. It can get boring. You've got to have a good debate. But no, sometimes you need to have a balance to it. And I can talk. Depends on my throat. And I don't know, I've just been there, done it, got the t-shirt, and a lot of people have. Oh, this is the first time this internet hasn't gone the way it has. So I was always
You
in...
did Reiki?
Yeah.
You did Reiki?
Yeah.
You really do Reiki?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
I used to travel down to London every other weekend to do my courses. And there used to be a sauna
He's planted to trigger me.
Well, locally into the gym every day, and there's swimming gym. I was very athletic, and this is why it's always been difficult to adjust from being not athletic and able to do that stuff. And then, so when I'd travelled to London quite a bit,
he's well trained, he's a superb trainer.
I met a lot of well-connected people, and they're still around. This guy.
You won't spend 3 hours talking to me.
Like any woman out. So, Alex, what the hell did my brother do to her to point her so much? So I called the police, and
this is where he backs off.
So services in. I thought they could try and help her to get her back.
Important issue, and he cuts me off.
I didn't know that my brother's connections to the Mormons decided to use me going to the house with my witness. My son was with his mate at the time. That I was the problem. We found her at my brother's house.
He's in the middle of doing other stuff. So he's not listening. He's recording me.
Just checking for
and I
safety.
Recorded in.
And she screamed the place down. She didn't want to come back. What the hell did my brother do to her to point and found her at my brother on without having to have all this? They were all just trying to speak an opinion, and all you got round you is a tinsel. But it's all very consensual, adult orientated, all tasteful.
Too much information given away.
You know? And
he's well mind controlling.
Never been in these environments before. It's things you try. And I used to run about my private life. They don't. So there's the only reason for that, because when I was in the public eye, the people I met. Yeah. So if I post anything or hint anything, I don't just certain health related. And the swimming pool was a bonus, and in the summer,
I want to know when he cuts me off.
Outside,
he suddenly does not listen to me, and he wants to disappear. He's wide awake. He's not tired.
Just want to be free.
He was a plant to trigger me.
So, of course, it was hilarious. And I've met people from all walks of life, all around the world, that used to go to this place. And
military operation.
I used to have somebody drive me home quite late at night sometimes. And he was a well-travelled businessman. And I didn't know about
butters you up
stuff like that at the
with certain information.
But as I said, when I did meet somebody,
get to talk rather than him talking.
He was a charmer. You know, like any woman out there, who was taken in at a young age
Too
by
much
information. And the business suit and that image. And
not about I care, I've got nothing to hide.
Yeah, but that's what I say about when you've been there, you got the t-shirt, and then you come out of it. You don't brag about things. You just know things. You're just being more careful, I suppose. But with knowing and being taught originally by somebody I met in that environment about a course to take, and somebody tried the techniques on me, that put my side just beautiful. Hit the right points. and you know, when you've been working out in the gym and your muscles are tense, and then teach you
he's too quiet. He was doing other stuff in the background.
And how that helps clears the lungs and the body if you've got a cold.
He just wanted to gather information on me that's sly and narcissism, gathering all information about me.
The reason why you have a cold.
And he still won't put himself on camera to me.
And
talk to me face to face.
We punch the body. So I learned a lot about. Biology to me was basic at the time.
That's right, I recorded a conversation in my life.
And then I got invited to do this course.
You don't trust anybody, what about me?
Encouraged by my boyfriend at the time, businessman, to...
He doesn't tell me if he's in a relationship with someone else or he's flirting with other females.
So, of course, we looked into premises for buildings.
How do I know? I'm
So
not
he had
insecure.
connections in the
I'm kind of
building trade.
being careful. So
He invested into my business. Both names were on the deeds of the property. And
you don't put all
because
your
he's a silent
information out.
partner, we got an
He's a
accountant, everything
manipulative
like that,
character.
all above board.
What a
And yeah, I
shame.
got taught how to massage children, babies, you know, properly. Men and females, it's all kosher in that
Oh,
regard.
what a
But you
shame.
know, it can always, people can turn things like that into the opposite if they want to be like that. But I knew what I was
Just
doing
that's the
anyway for
sounds
the
of my voice,
qualifications,
that's all.
so it's well worth it. And then, of course, my first client I ever had turned out to be a serial killer.
Listen.
So that knocked the business on the head. So, but I never forgot the techniques and the training. And but when anybody goes through extreme trauma in that environment and you do everything right and it just stops, my business didn't take off. Had to sell the premises. And then that's when my business partner was a not very nice individual, and that's when I discovered he was a 33-degree Mason. And that's when I discovered his ex-wife. We met up, we had a coffee. She's got a daughter, beautiful daughter, obviously older now. And she told me everything, what was going on. And then I found out he was visiting all these massage parlours and how he was doing certain things to certain women. And then he began stalking me.
He cuts me off after this.
So got restraining order.
I've loved you, Boris. Well, I've loved your wisdom, but I'm really tired now, darling, so I have to go. So I'm going to say I love you and leave you now.
Okay.
Bye. See you.
Take care.
Bye, see ya. After 3 hours talking to me.
So cute.
I love your wisdom.
People, you have to be nice.
Bye, see ya. What a plant, Simon. I'm sorry, I don't trust you now. You get me to talk all about myself and you're well trained. I'm sorry. You don't do that to me. Just cut me off like that. Such a psychological tactic. Or someone that's military trained to gaslight me online. Pretend to be interested in me. And the way you will get me to talk all the time, but you're multitasking in the background. You weren't interested in what I was saying. And the way you were doing it this time. It's not like you were before. Okay? All the people you're connected to online. You don't let me know what your Discord handle is, so we can talk privately, properly, to get to know each other on a voice chat. On Discord, you don't even bloody use it's just such a shame. I did have hopes. I open up myself and talk to you like an adult, where you start having an adult conversation, and then you cut it short like that. Don't play me. Don't play me. I've got to focus on me now. Why do you think people in the targeted program can't even have a bloody life? Nobody comes in. What they do, my internet's cut out. And then what's the first thing you do when you get in? Back into my life, it says, I could notice how your connection's stable now since I've been in. And you quote something about, I'm going to play the first segment in a minute. How the internet was stable as soon as you come in my life. Like you got magic powers. I wouldn't put it past you. You're a shapeshifter. Like Moses.
Your screen's gone blank and we can't hear you. It's just us talking to each other. Can you come back, or have you lost connection to us or something? Oh, excuse me.
Is it better now?
Oh, yeah. Let me just say, I'll tell you on the topic of what you were just talking about there. Basically, oh my God, my mind's just gone blank. Jesus Christ.
money and what you do with it if you become successful and you had loads and loads of money. That was what we were talking about.
That was the topic, but I mean, I had a big, I had a big shit show of stuff that I was going to talk about then. I was going to enlighten you on something, but it's absolutely gone out my brain. My brain just absolutely went west.
I was saying about giving money to friends and family and helping charities or anything like that. Is that jogging it?
No, it's not jogging it.
Thursday
No,
the
it doesn't
5th
matter.
or 7th.
Doesn't matter. We'll go on with something
Yeah.
else. We'll go on with something else.
Or 10th, 2023 to Friday.
I don't know. I think
6th.
I would like to still remain. Not I think I would like to remain the same, but I know that obviously having money and stuff would change your life to a certain degree. Of course, it would.
You talk about that guy, right? No disrespect to you, Ed. Alright, he blocked me.
There you go. Listen to this.
That 420 guy, and whatever his real name is, and he constantly blocked me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you know?
And I've
The
got,
way he was talking in his wife or something.
no, I think it's to do with Chinese whispers, to be honest, behind the scenes.
She knew.
And when, you know, when that event happened, meant to happen,
She knew
on the
all
1st
along.
of the 8th,
Yeah.
right, anonymous, right, and the last time, I know it was
I'm calling
me,
people
that's
out.
like, anonymous.
I was speaking to him. I know what you're talking about. When there was going to be a massive protest in London and everything.
Yeah.
It was
With
all
both
buses.
plants.
All buses going down, like from
With me a minute.
Scotland.
I've got an audio recording evidence I'm playing.
I forget and all. Basically, his moderator Alex, right? I had some dickhead bang on my bedroom wall, right?
And I call these people out.
Wednesday, 21st.
They come in my
I
life.
think it was August.
And then they send a bloke in my
no
way
idea
pretending,
it was,
oh, he
but
loves
shoot
me,
so I was in a
all
bad
this
mood
stuff.
that day. So of course, this
No
stuff is new
disrespect,
anyway,
but
right?
I'm not going to be
reality.
an open book.
So of course, I'm doing a stream just randomly. I shouldn't really done it really.
He cuts me off 3 hours talking to me.
Trigger, and then I'm going on about
It's a
FBI,
one-way side
MI6,
conversation.
hacking and all this stuff because I'm getting it on the phones as per usual, as you saw earlier. And then obviously he comes in my life, which he never ever does, by the way. As soon as I mention the word hacking, somebody must be monitoring my life, which they were in the end, I found out.
I've got text messages, evidence, all the
bloke, I don't even know, ex-military, which must be his mate. And it was all civil, you know, between each other on my life. But his moderator, Alex, female, I don't know, somebody was trying to expose them after. Allegedly, I don't know the ins and outs, whether they were partners, whatever, I don't know. But anyway. And
went to the toilet.
Pardon? Okay. And
toilet.
Do what you got to do. And then basically we're chatting through them. He was on about the event, and I thought, yeah, I could rep to you and that stuff. And then what was it? Soon after that, I went out. It was late getting back in. I hadn't come home. I checked my phone on the TikTok messages thing, and I saw the shock at 1 o'clock in the morning, like his moderator threatening me, personally threatening me in such a violent manner. I never get threats like that. I'm used to all sorts, but not those demonic threats. And she knew full well in my physical ill health I'm in. Yeah? So I thought, okay, I'm not going to react. I was polite back, because everyone gets a bad day. So I gave the benefit of the doubt, and I said, I think you took my stream out of context. I didn't go into everything. I just briefly outlined. I said, well, it's not my intent, because I know that legal words and definitions things to say, for my protection. I said, it's not my intent to cause any alarm, distress, but if that comes across,
I'm just calling people out.
let me know. to smooth the
demonic
feathers
times,
kind of thing.
way.
And the next thing I know, I'll get the same
I've got
complete
recording
demonic
evidence
response
of
back, even worse.
agents on
And
this
narcissist
platform that are
behaviour.
just
And I
out to
thought,
just try
okay,
and
well,
lie.
I'm going to
And
make this public when the event goes, because I knew the event wouldn't go off the way it was
life
going
is
to be
too
planned.
short, isn't it?
Soon after I had those messages, I knew it wouldn't happen. So I started doing some digging on the Express coaches. I found out that it's actually changed to a Spanish name. I found that you will not get these organised amount of coaches in England for such an event for Central London. And I knew full well you wouldn't be able to storm the bloody Parliament building with the machine guns with the armed police about, and also the armed recess. And I thought, well, I'll just sit back and wait and let's see what happens, which I did. I didn't join his last live at that time, and people were generally really wanted to make a change. And I hope to goodness that they won't get hurt when they find out the truth. But they did, didn't they? And so it's like anything on any platform. You know, you follow each other, like-mindedness, that kind of thing. And you don't know who's who really offline, do you? So, so I took it for benefit of the doubt. I found out who he is. Hold on a minute, I'll finish what I'm saying. You've got a habit, by the way, of interrupting people, Simon. Just thought I'd hint at that bit. And
I'm going to interrupt.
no, don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. I haven't
now
finished.
he's being
This is one
narcissistic
pet
to me.
thing I don't like about people. You know that.
I don't always interrupt.
You know that. I haven't finished, have I? If I pause for a long pause, then you know I've finished. I hadn't finished, had I? No? Yeah? Okay, you've gone silent, so obviously you don't want to answer that. Right, so basically, in a nutshell, I'm just sharing an important thing, because this is what I'm talking about, real life issues. It's not about, like, online, you know. And if people want to take what I say out of context, and if the behaviour you show, certain people can show their real traits, okay? And I can clearly see those traits. And if people want a kind of relationship with me, it needs to be a mutual thing.
Exactly.
And people can trigger people
that's what
very psychologically. I'm very
night.
good at psychological stuff. So they can trigger another mind, another thing. I don't like to come across I know it all, which I don't. But I know where the real life goes on offline. So online is just a tool of information. But as you get to know, like Simon said earlier, that when you've got certain connections, you know the bigger picture. But anyway, long story short, keep it short as I can, that event didn't take place. People were pissed off with everybody. Lee Palute's really good, by the way. She also got threats. There's other people apparently come to me and
I never saw the evidence about her. She's a plant.
So it's about recruiting. I still got somebody messaging me about certain people. It's a really, I play a diplomatic role. That's the way I look at it. And I'm just like, okay, this happened. I'm a strong individual, you know, and you know, I will make it public. You don't cost me and get away with it in that unlawful way. If it's a personal threat like that, to my safety, I will make it public.
Because they asked me, so I told
But I won't be like a child, you know, like a child tactics, you know, at the school playground. That's pathetic. I'll raise above it. And sadly, people don't. And this is what I mean about conquer and divide and the bigger picture of things. But yeah, sadly, there is an individual, ex-nurse, and she's going through a hard time. She's having threats herself, and there's a couple other people I know. It's only because, you know, I thought, okay, well, I don't know the full ins and outs. I'll just be an observer.
Finish.
Okay.
Cut through.
So I thought I'd just give Loop a second chance, because there was an individual.
And big mistake that was.
Because I messaged, trusting that she's an ex-whistleblower, and she knows what it's like, what we go through offline too. and if she just trusts me with certain information. Oh, well, but it's gone. Ah, I thought I was talking to her.
I cut my
What happened to her? That?
Who are you talking about? What happened?
Where is
I think she just needs to sleep.
I know
Getting
she
late
Did
now.
she
did
say
it.
goodbye in the chat?
I don't think she did, to tell you the truth. Wait.
Well,
Liar.
that says
No,
a lot. Oh, that
no, she
says a lot. That says a lot about her. There's certain things you don't know about her.
Yeah,
And I do.
yeah.
I'm
Because
sorry,
we had a
Red.
mini argument that she jumped up.
We didn't have a mini
She's not
argument.
here.
I don't
I think
argue.
it's because we had a mini argument.
No, it's not an
Don't know.
argument. I thought I was actually talking to her. That's why I asked you to just hold on a minute.
It's a minute later. So is she.
That was against me, which was I thought was out of order.
Oh,
You
really?
know, so you know, I think she just thought I'm not putting up with this. I don't know. I don't have a clue.
Look, you're trying to attack my character again. You sent me a message, and you're trying to attack my character. Really? Look, come on. What gives you that impression? No, I won't get this straight out because I've got enough on my plate. I've had enough going on, and I appreciate what you're saying, but don't take me for a bloody fool. Now, this is a public live and other people are watching, right? I'm not going to disrespect anybody on a public platform. And I don't generally anyway.
It's a minute later.
But you keep going on about
they all know each other.
You don't know what my character's like. Nobody knows what my character's like. Nobody knows what my personal
And
life
that's why
like,
he's trying to get me stuck through bloody
and
hours.
all due respect,
Simon.
right? You
can't tell me.
You keep going on and on like an old record about me.
I'm not.
I'm sorry.
That's childish of you. You know,
No,
Childish of
I'm
me.
going to speak up for myself, okay? I don't care who it is. If anybody criticises my private life, they don't even know me.
He was sticking
I
up
will
for
bloody
Red.
well speak up for
She's
myself.
in Cambridge.
Yeah, I
know
do
each
it.
other.
First of all, I give the other individual benefit of the doubt. And if they want to try and dominate
Freemason,
me, they want to try and
ready,
patronise
implant.
me, they want to gaslight me. Do you really know what gaslighting is about? Well, the traits of that is coming across to me very clearly. And if I got that wrong, then your behaviour, you're saying to me, you don't have this, you don't have that, fine. But then you go on and say, I've noticed this. If you want to have your debates, if you want to interrupt people, if you want to be you, do that. But if you want to imply something towards me on a personal level, treat me as an equal. Don't talk down to me like I'm a bloody child.
I always treat you as an equal. I only called you, you was acting like a child when you was going blah, 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 and stuff like that.
No,
you know?
I was talking.
I'm only going to tell the truth.
No, it's not. If people have certain ways of behaviour,
it doesn't tell the truth. It's a manipulator.
You can't change an individual's character, a personality to mould into something that you want. It doesn't work like that. Human nature is different.
Realise that this is why you push people away.
I push people away because you manipulate me.
You are making an assumption about my character. You don't know. How can you tell?
He doesn't care about what I go through in my life.
How can you tell if somebody is pushing somebody away when you don't know them?
How can I tell that you like me when you have problems with me at the same time?
See how he twists. See how he twists it.
So I don't want to have this discussion. Can we bring up topics where we're positive, or we can talk about the negativity of the world? Can we not talk about you and me? What our demeanours are, what we're going against, what we believe in. This sort of stuff, because we.
Okay.
So can we rise above?
Yeah.
I've been falling in love. I've been falling in love with you. you know, and I don't like this topical, logical, you know, sort of speaking, because, you know, you can't, no one's perfect, and people will have arguments. There is disruptions and there's problems and stuff, but I am trustworthy and I'll be loyal, okay? So can we...
Yes, I hope
I'll stand
I'm
by
wrong.
you, but I don't have to agree with everything you say.
I spent 3 hours talking to him.
Yes. Time would tell, and put the full armour of God on. Yes. That is Johnny. Oh, hello, Johnny. Thank you. We're trying to build the backup. Okay. Oh, by the way, I didn't see you come in the chat, by the way. How are you?
Or is he basically asking for, he wants more followers so he can go live or something?
I'm just going to check. I'm just going to say hello to someone. Better connection now. Oh, okay, so we now got somebody else in. Funny Chops, why are you now coming? Okay, how are you? I'm not going to be negative to people, but I will defend myself against anyone. I will not.
But what does he actually mean by where
Johnny is a
not
genuine...
sure?
Not
Not sure is put. Time will tell, but full armour of God is best always. What does that actually...
I know what he means.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do. I know exactly what he means. Time will tell if a relationship is going to work out. Time will tell if a relationship is going to work out.
Okay.
Pardon me?
But God is best.
Pardon me?
Oh, that's an unusual... That's just an unusual way of thinking.
Well,
I didn't understand what he meant. Thanks for elaborating.
That is his own way. That's people's own way of expression. I know when you go into them and when they've got a genuine heart, when people have a genuine heart, this is the expressions they use. People are different, aren't they? And it's a beauty to be different. And we all got different opinions, but I don't get involved in drama. I don't like that. And I like harmony and peace. And we've all got to try and get on. And there's enough disruption of disharmony and things you go through personally, things I go through personally, and it's trying to find a common ground. Yeah. So I will get defensive if somebody tries to make it comes across to me. If somebody, it could be anyone, right? You know, certain personal things about my family. I don't talk about that. You know, because if people brings up certain subjects like that, and I talk to a personal friend on a different platform about certain things, they know me for a long, long time and what I've been going through. And they've been a loyal friend to me, and I trust them 100%. It's not every day I trust people that easily. So for someone to say, especially on social media, you know, certain things, one needs to just be careful and be observant and not take things out of context. But you have a different way, of course, which is new to me.
Maybe negative. I don't trust anybody.
See what I mean?
That is probably a negative viewpoint. Anybody.
It's understandable. You see, what?
It's been hard.
If I give trust to someone, I can be used and abused, and I can feel bad, you know, so I don't put trust in anything. I mean, if I had a girlfriend, I could love her, you know, and I could, like, I would pull my heart out to her.
So it doesn't seem as a girlfriend, do you?
If she was falling off a cliff, I'd risk my life to save her. But I don't know if she'd risk her life to save me. You know what I mean? So I just don't fully trust anybody.
So how can you have a relationship with you, bloody?
You know, people are becoming more cruel.
I know, I can see.
So why do you want me to talk for 3 hours of my time today?
And it is hard, definitely. And
you're cruel.
And when
you don't care.
Generally, like you say, you've got an intelligence at such a level which is higher than the average.
You say, I'm falling in love with you. and then you
yeah,
say something
you have to
else,
find an outlet
and then you
do
cut me off
things
dead at the
to
end.
suit the situation.
Really?
Everyone's different.
Sort of way to
Nobody
treat
can judge
me.
anyone.
I've got a
And
feeling it's
when
like
there's
everybody
general
else.
sweeping statements made about
The
someone they
target
don't really
program, you
know,
know
for
what's
me, as I
going
just
on.
said, I will
Build
not
up.
jump in with like all,
Psychologically, you're building
daggers
up people and then you
because
drop
that's
them.
pathetic. I go in with a logical point
I
of
wish
view,
you
but
well,
with
but
it
you don't
carried
do it to
on,
me.
and to me, if it comes across as it's a personal attack against my private life and character, I will speak up. It's the way I'm made, But I won't go into an argument or debate. I will seek a logical response. And if I'm being questioned about my responses, it shows what that character's like, in my opinion. And so then I'm cautious.
You're right. You're absolutely true. It's not just your opinion. It's the facts. It's the truth. That is real. I can say that I'd like to trust you, because I know that you've got some point of views of things which people think that you're crazy and not everyone will trust you.
Those key words is used, crazy
This is again, please don't get me wrong, this is again, when people use the terminology crazy, when you're in a targeted program, no way would I ever use that word crazy, because these are the trigger words that the gaslighters like to use. When they use phone calls, when they use texts, when they use communications, when they talk, these triggers will affect the NK-Ultra survivor, and when they're meant to sleep... Go ahead.
We are classed as crazy, but we'll think that we are not normal, and we don't think
that the system...
beliefs are wrong,
I see what we're saying. The public servants, especially in England and many other places, I can only quote what I know in England, will make the assumption that one has a psychological disorder, where we don't. There's no such thing. It's all to do with mind control. And when unfortunately, I've had to document and download these documents and read them. And when you know the emotions are being manipulated by the technology, and for how long, this is where one has that benefit of knowledge. So when one senses the emotions are being manipulated with frequencies, with EMF, for example, then one... I spoke to somebody a couple of weeks ago in a Zoom meeting, right? And they had one individual with E2K, and the other one... Sorry, what? Sorry,
they will use EMF and they will use frequency.
Yeah.
Somebody's protesting against government, and they're all protesting outside of Parliament. They will use EMF waves, and they will make everyone feel depressed, and they'll shoot these, electronic harassment and all these waves to make everyone feel low, and so they don't want to protest anymore. They'll use it from satellites. They can do this. This technology is real. It's very real, and it does make people feel really poorly, ill and depressed, and not want to fight against anything. And they will use this.
Yeah, it's like, this is what I've always said. My real life offline is like a bloody... lots of people go through a similar situation to I. My real life offline is like a bloody movie. And they want us to look like Simon says, like we are psychologically lost the plot, in the mainstream narrative. But once you know that Rockefeller family had developed big pharmaceutical corporations and funded these institutions...
The worst.
I haven't finished.
The worst one was...
Simon, do you mind?
I have to just...
No,
let me
I'll
just
give
say
you
this. I have to say the word.
You don't respect me. How can I trust you? I'm going to have to cut my life if you keep interrupting me, because I don't tolerate anyone interrupting me. I'll give you the respect. I deserve the same. And that's mutual understanding, if you get me. I don't talk down to you like a bloody school mistress or whatever. It's not my bag. I don't do things like that. And if you take that the way, implied that before, you know, that's your problem, not mine. I've never been like that with anyone, whether they're my worst enemy. It's the way I was brought up. Mutual respect for one another, to give their time to correspond. So mutual communication, two-way street. And if you keep interrupting somebody, how are you going to have a conversation? How are you going to get to know somebody if you have emotional thoughts with them?
I felt the need to butt in and say my piece. I was just going to speak and tell you something. All I wanted to do is cut in and tell you just a little thing. That's all.
Right.
You have to give people a chance to speak.
Excuse me, what did I just say? You're twisting my words. That's what narcissists do. That's a narcissist trait.
Well, apparently. I'm not talking to you.
And when I say narcissist trait, what option you're giving me? You're not giving me an option to talk, and you're interrupting a woman, and if you do that to women, they're going to respond that way. And there's no disrespect to anyone, but it's a two-way street of communication. There's enough problems, but you're going to butt in and not show that respect for someone to finish their conversation, then what does that impression give to the other party? Like they're arrogant, they're rude. They may not be like that, but that's the impression it comes across.
Not giving people a chance to speak. You're telling everyone they shouldn't be able to. They should just listen to you, and they have to listen to you for ages.
You twisted my words. You have just twisted my words, and that's a very good way of trying to psychologically turn things around in the mindset. That's a very good trait of somebody that wants to manipulate somebody. I'm not easily manipulated either. I do that. Give them opportunity to have the say, and it works both ways. So go on then, say what you're going to say.
You absolutely being, futile. Like, it's absolutely disgusting. The way you're speaking to me.
Really now? So a female's point of view, disgusting. So a female's point of view to have their say. Now I'm quiet to give you the opportunity to say. Now you insult me.
They think of something that they want to say. They might forget what they're going to say. So they have to butt in every now and again. You can't just listen to one person speaking all the time.
You just twisted my words. You have just... Karen, do you see this? Right, so you have just twisted my words. I didn't say nothing like you said.
Okay, I'm wrong and you're right. I hold my hands up. I'm sorry, I apologise.
Oh, no. Please don't. Look, we are adults. If we can't have a civil conversation as adults, and I'm not here to dominate nobody, and I hope you're not too, because from what I know about you, how you come across when literally you're just being yourself, there's a lot about you that I do like. But you see, when you are, there's certain terms you use, and perhaps it's just the way you are because of the way your mindset works. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But as I said, if you keep, it's like one's on a roundabout and you go round, and nobody gives nobody gives a stop and have a bloody break for 5 minutes, and to stop take. There's no point in carrying on. If you can't meet in the middle and agree to disagree, but unfortunately, I'm not going to take anybody that wants to interrupt my intelligence, my ability to have my say, whatever subject may be. I respect mutually. And if we agree to disagree, that's an adult nature. There's too much disharmony in the world. I'm not about that.
Always right. Sometimes you
I know I'm not. I'm not. Good God, when have I ever in my life or talked to you, have I ever said that I'm always right? Pardon me?
I have yet to person. I have never found one.
You've never found what? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I have yet to find a perfect person. I have never found one.
I've never ever said I'm perfect. I never said anything. I don't. I'm not.
No, you got me wrong there. I wasn't saying that you thought you was perfect. I'm saying I'm yet to find a perfect person. I've never found one.
Yeah, there's no such thing, is there? I don't know, exactly. I don't believe there is such a thing. We're all unique in our own little way. And we've all got a journey, in my opinion, a spiritual journey. And it's hard enough to get on every day, crap that goes on. And yeah, I can see where you're coming from, that you want to be, not everything's positive all the time, Simon. You know, real life doesn't work like that. Yeah? And the real life offline, people, you know, they can have personas. Anyone can put an act on, you know, and the real life sometimes people can't deal with. So they have to have a persona. They have to create a situation for them to cope with. And that's their situation. That's their business. And I don't judge nobody for that, you know. And I'm just an outsider looking in, observing. And when you're trying to develop a friendship or a romantic relationship, it's not just works overnight, you know. And yeah, you can have lust, you can have all that platonic, you know, physical attraction, yeah. But what's going to happen when that attraction fades? What's going to happen when you don't have that same lust kind of sensation? When that honeymoon period's over, what are you going to do then in real life? And you're going to see the real individual. Are you going to let them in?
Well, basically, what I'm thinking towards what you're saying there is the first few months when you've met somebody, the person sounds like they're going to be fake and they're going to act in a certain way, a demeanour, a mannerism, and, you know, they won't show their true self until after a few months passed, and then you'll actually see the true colours of the actual individual, and it'll have to take months before you actually see the ups and the downs of the personality of the person. And, you know, if they really truly love you, or they're just using you for your body, or whatever means, or demeanour, or whatever you're talking about, you know, like I say, nobody's perfect, you know. We can design and we can create, you know, we can create life. Can you class that as a god, creating life, you know, popping kids out of, you know, your privates and stuff like that, having a body inside you? You know, am I going off topic, or am I talking in equivalence of what you
Do you know something about me, right? You know, I do like the closeness of somebody that you're intellectually in tuned, that you're intimately compatibly. I don't care about wealth or that kind of thing, right? And like you said before, you know, you're watching having a drink or a bottle of wine or something and take away and watching a movie. That is so, to me, I look at it as that is, you know, when you get to know somebody, right? You're Sagittarius. I've been out with people, you know, before with star sign and traits, but you can't, in my opinion, you can't judge somebody by just a birth sign or when they were born. And so I do like certain intimacy, certain ways, and, you know, and there are good people that can play the card of very good at manipulating people to imply, oh yeah, you might just like this. You just said a couple of things in a live and just a passing statement, and you wouldn't think it's nothing, or somebody else could say that. But because of the way you've said it, I'm seeing that. And you wouldn't think much to it, but I would. Yeah? Being a female, getting to know somebody, different platform, not like you're in a pub meeting somebody, and we're doing it on a social media platform of all things. And it's like, okay, so you just take a back seat and just observe things. But no way will I just sit back and be a doormat, you know, and yeah, I know when it's time to be quiet. I know when it's time to give people the floor. And it's like Red said before. Now, as soon as I said to her, for example, I just want to quickly, because you were interrupted, I was trying to say that last part. And when I said that it's a bit ironic, as soon as I said about her friend, she met him offline, that's her business, what she wants to do, right? But when I've had my personal life being spread to Tom, Dick and Harry behind the scenes, and as soon as I she was just said something, and I just responded, right? And then it's ironic, isn't it? How convenient that as soon as I mention about that individual blocking me on his platform, and I don't care, that's his business, it's his channel, you know. But literally I haven't done nothing to him. So that's their problem, and I move on. But as soon as I mention that, she disappears off the life. And it's no coincidence, right? I don't believe in coincidence. No such thing. Not my experience in life anyway. People can agree to disagree. Sunsets and DJs, hello, how are you?
Well, what do you mean by you don't agree with coincidence? Because coincidence is something which is something might happen because it seems like it's going to happen. Like it's a coincidence that has happened. You know, is it a coincidence that you know that somebody's looking at you and you look round and see him? Or is it a coincidence that some people will live for a very long age? You know, what is coincidence really?
It's genetically. You're talking coincidence, right? You can, well, with different definitions of coincidence, isn't it? Depending on the scenario and the situation that one is in, right? So, like you just quoted, somebody's looking at you. I take no notice. The things I go through offline, 24 hours a day, well, not 24 hours, literally offline, if I'm able to get out, yeah, it is like a Truman Show for me. And you have to be observant.
Like before, I felt like I'm in the Truman Show. And is yin and yang destiny?
I wouldn't know much about that myself.
You're more in depth. If you want me to say, like, is basically good and bad destiny that there is exactly the equal amount? Do you think there's more evil in the world or more good? Or do you think that yin and yang does exist and
you
bad
can't have,
good is in?
Yeah, well, I'm not an expert on this, I don't know much about it, but I'm just an observer in life, the way I look at it, and you need both to exist, don't you, really? It's a bit like the symbolism. You've got the dark side, you've got the light side. I mean, I didn't really know that what the hell starseed, the light workers meant. So, like the other gentleman who's got his dog, you know, people are in tune with their own spirituality, their aura, their essence about them. Some people are not. Some people have experienced so much trauma and they build up a brick wall. It's easy to build up that brick wall, to not let anybody get close to them. So if they've had experience of real shit darkness in their life and not their doing, then it is, I do like to think there is hope there, you know, for people that's been through that. I like to think that the world we are in, for the future, there is hope and light, and enough people now are spiritually waking up. Whether you call it God or Creator, whatever. I mean, I know your beliefs is, well, I don't know you per se in that way, but you just made it clear that you don't believe in certain things. That's your business. And I differ. I do believe that there is unknown energy, you know, and I am fully aware. You can't know it all. You know so much, like you said earlier, you watch all this different stuff about conspiracy theory. Yeah, a lot of it is. But once you cut through the crap and disinformation out there, I would never, ever post anything or share anything that I didn't research independently myself. And that's just the way I look at it. People might disagree. So.
Well, what I can say about what you just said is, like, you wouldn't post something unless you thought it was real or it was true. But you don't know if it's true. Some of the things that you post, you don't know if it's true, and then if you don't know that it's true, then that's where you're going to get flagged. You're going to get warnings that this is information because you don't know that it's true.
Is that reason why you
deep down in your heart,
sorry, go on.
You know what you're posting is real, and then that's what you believe. But it's classed as disinformation, and it's classed as you can't prove it. So you have got a red flag, and TikTok might take you down for it, saying that you've got too many warnings.
The times we're in, I don't care anymore. I really don't care anymore.
Right now.
I don't care anymore.
Right now, and you're putting in. See, this is what you said you had a problem with me doing before. You're not letting me finish what I'm talking about.
Well, I thought you had to finish.
Go ahead.
No, I thought you had to finish. Go on, you finish. No,
it's all good.
You go. I thought you had finished. If I believe in... Sorry, go on.
Sorry, I apologise.
Okay. If I'd believed in something, right, and I trust my gut instinct on it all, and I don't spend all my life researching because life's too short, I've got enough on my plate. So, one thing at a time, and you need to look after one's health and spiritual health at the same time. So, I don't follow the norm. I don't just repost something. I don't just upload something I see. Because I know the manipulation goes on and how it works, and it's not pleasant. So that is being around for so long before I was born. So I really have to trust my instinct on scenarios. That's with people, situations, and it's not just by the internet or brings. And also, because I know about certain technology and how it manipulates the brain, I'm also aware that thoughts are not always our own. So what do the human individuals have left is our instinct, our gut instinct. And if they have a belief system or a faith, then it's that. And then if you sense something that doesn't seem right, then you're either going to follow it through and research, or you're just going to leave it alone and move on. And sometimes my past mistake, I'm not perfect. I will go down so bloody many rabbit holes and waste half my bloody energy doing that and not focusing on my real life scenario situation. So I've stopped doing that. I've had to change. I've made a lot of personal changes in that regard, and it's taken me a long time. But at least I've managed to do that. And, I'll go on the subject. This is a public platform. This might help somebody else out there. The assumption of pushing my family away from me, my own adult son and daughter, that's a red flag.
No, I'm sorry in that, but I thought that was truth. I know that kind of offended you, but that's how I see it. Because you are lonely, and I know you need some company of somebody like me who understands you. And you push people away who you are, and I know it offends you of me knowing about stuff, but you've said certain things, and I've calculated, and I've worked it out, and I've seen, through your guise and your disguise, and I mean, I'm not saying that you're putting up a disguise or a mask or anything, but I've seen through it, and I am remembering a lot today, I feel like I need to.
Thank you. When people put, it's very easy to put up a persona of self-defense mechanism, right? So when people's gone through trauma, and I say that again, like I have, and many people around the world have, they have coping strategies. That is not perfect, but it's like a survival mechanism, yeah? So, like, I know, since I knew I was in this bloody program, I had to make sure that my own adult family and their kids would not, I didn't push them away, by the way, and they chose their own path. And I know from other people similar to me in this program and different platforms and reading the documents how this is designed to make people isolated by design. So you don't have anyone that cares about you, that you don't have anybody that loves you, that you're isolated. And it's not by choice. Yeah? Do you think I like living the way I live? No. Yeah? So do you think I have studied law for a reason? Specifically, I have. You have to defend yourself. You have to protect yourself, but also it can be a double-ended sword. I'm fully aware of that. So therefore, when I do make my efforts, like I said before, send the cards out, keep, you know, my grandchildren and birthday cards and communication key, you know, keep the communication door open, which I've always done. My late mum did it to my brothers and sisters, to the bigger picture of my family members. She was always like that, and I followed suit. If they don't want to respond, that's their situation. They're adults. And how this program works, in such a demonic way, they split up families. They can falsify your medical records. They can lie about you to people. As I said, I really don't care what people think about me. I'm just me. And if people don't like it, they can jog on and find something else that they want to do or manipulate people. There's too much of that going on in life now. You know, I have seen it firsthand.
I exist. I want to be with you. I understand you woes and betides. I'm here and I want to be with you. Let somebody in your life who wants to make your life better. You don't have to be alone forever, darling. You're not going to die alone, trust me.
Thank you. I think two people watching us thinking, what the hell we're talking about. You don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about, generally, first, the targeted program is real people. If you're just two of those just all monitoring what we're saying, I don't give a shite. But as a disclaimer, if you go onto the website, educateyourself.org, and look at targeted program, you see how serious it is. If they've been doing it to people like myself and many others like me around the world, and how well funded it is, and how they manipulate the brain, they're rolling it out on the rest of humanity for transhumanism. And okay, so you got some people very intelligent. And, Simon, you're extremely intelligent. I could tell that straight away in you. And there's a lot of reasons why certain things have happened to you. I don't even know you that well, right? But that comes across. I'm very good at reading people, just observing, right? But I'm very good at, I just know things anyway. They just trust your gut instinct, but the technology with the EMF radiation, the EMF frequencies, and then you go on to the organized, it's worldwide organized gang stalking. Now, you did mention a few things, I won't repeat here, but where you have your personal environment compromised, it really is like just that movie, you know, I repeat that one called The Matrix, the new one especially. And then you want to look at the symbolism in movies. It's all out there. And all I feel, all my sort of, not all my energy, but all my, when I got time, put it that way, to share some hints of what's going on. Not just about me. It's boring, you know, to go on and I keep going on about my situation and my reality. It is, I know what it's like. So So, if for those that don't know, to help protect them, to warn them for their kids' sake and their grandkids' sake, that they don't go through what I'm going through, if a little hint of information by a little video or little website, they might just be suddenly realise, oh, yes, that's happening for that reason, and they might want to know more. There's a few women that's been in so many situations and come to me, and I just feel all I can go on is just my experience, and then this is some information that may assist, and if you want it, you can have it, and come back to me if I can be of any further assistance. And I do that for free. But because my internet, as you saw earlier, and other people in the live, is compromised, and I had to find out by some really random stranger coming into my live recently, a couple of lives when it wasn't compromised and hacked into, and pointing out 7-7 Brigade in England, which I looked it up, linked up to the military side, the police, you know, the surveillance side of the military defence in England. And when they're sitting up there, they don't need bloody, like, people with handheld devices and all. It really is like a sci-fi bloody, it sounds like a bloody, like we're making it all up. You know, but we people going through all this in the real world, we're not. And what the puppet servants have to do is make us look like we've lost, psychologically disturbed, and we're not. And it really goes deep. And I'm glad, I'm so relieved in so many ways that people are seeing the bigger picture now, because so many people have lost their lives to this program. They've given up, they've lost their lives, they felt they can't go on, and it's just luckily I've got a strong personality. I've got too strong perhaps sometimes, but I've got a strong personality and a stubborn streak as well. But that sometimes, yeah, can be a brick wall that needs to be broken down gently, but this is my way of coping.
Oh, don't I know it? I've seen your personality. You're a very clever, intelligent human being. Like I said to you in words, I said, like, you're a born teacher. But some of your beliefs are very obscure and very unusual. What do you really think is the full meaning of life? I can tell you the meaning of life. There is no point in absolutely nothing. What's the point of nothing? That's why we exist, because there's no point to nothing. Who created the universe? What's at the beginning of time? What's the beginning of time, or has it always existed? You know, these questions are questioned by the most greatest scientists on Earth, and they can't fully depict what really is true matter, and they can't even tell you if teleportation is real, or if invisibility is real, or invisibility is real, and anti-gravity is real. These technologies are very real, and they're like 40 years ahead of us in the military of what we're allowed to have right now. We just get given bits and bats. They won't give us the full picture. You know, I've had premonitions of the future, and I've seen what the world's going to turn into in the future, and it's really bleak, and it's really depressing and destructive. It's not the most beautiful way you can possibly imagine the way that the world's going to be. You know, it's really not a nice place to be.
Do you have that ability to give us an insight?
Wait. Sorry, darling, what are you saying?
About the future. You've given that got that ability of insight, what the future looks like.
Well, we all know what some of the future is going to be like. Digital currency. We no longer have money, cash, so we can just buy things on the streets or anything. Everything's going to be a microchip in everyone's hands by the year 2050. You know, so with everything will be digital currency, and they'll know exactly what we're buying things on. And if we don't agree with if they don't agree with what you want to buy, then they'll cut you off from your source of your money, and you're not allowed to buy anything. It's total control tactic. Well, we know that is the future we're going into. That is the future of what we know. I can tell you the future of what I've seen in premonitions from my dreams and from, my own perspective of what I think's going to happen. Do you know about chimeras? You know about dull space, don't you?
Yeah.
Dull space.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you what goes on in dull space. There's 7 levels in dull space. Apparently, I'm just saying apparently, and this is just only what what I've heard. This TikTok, this is not truth. This is just my depiction of what I've heard, what is possibly true. There's 7 levels, and it goes worse as the levels go down. And what they do is they create chimeras. It's spelled chimera, chimera. And what it is they're creating human beings combined with different animals, and they're doing loads of mad experiments on it, creating chimeras. And also they've got cryogenic labs, where even Walt Disney, Mr. Walt Disney, who created Disney World and everything, well, he's in a cryogenic frozen chamber, and they use vidification. What vidification is they send like this blue liquid through your veins, through your body, once you're frozen, before you die or when you die, and they do it straight away to you to make it so that your body doesn't fractal, crack, and make crystal forming, so that you won't be brain damaged when you're reawoken in the future. They can do vidification. I've actually thought about, if I found out that I'm going to die soon, I thought, I want to, there's plenty of these labs all over the planet. They're willing, you have to pay $35,000 to have your head chopped off and your head put in vidification and be frozen, and it can be reawoken in the future, but you'd have to have a robot body, obviously. But it's 70 grand, £70,000 if you want to have your full body frozen, so that you can be reawoken in the future when they can bring you back from a vidificated frozen body, if you really wanted to know. I'm just letting you know.
It's like a movie
I was thinking about.
Yeah. I've seen a movie.
Like a sci-fi movie, innit?
Yeah, definitely. I have seen a few movies like that, and I have read a few documents, what you're talking about, and it is sickening and also there's 100% a fact, in my opinion, because of things I go through every night, and I don't talk about it because it is very demonic. But there is documents out there people can go and read up about declassification from the FBI, CIA, and there was an audio book and a website I found, and the UFO theory is just a cover story. So, yeah. And when you survive these underground bases as a child, if you don't survive, certain things that happen to them, and if you do survive, you're in a cult, and you're either a child breeder, or if you survive as an adult, you were put into it's called NK Ultra Butterfly. The butterfly is NK Ultra. It symbolises the monarch butterfly, and that's a program I've been put in since a child. And my mother was, my brothers and sisters were. So, if you have certain psychic abilities, which apparently I do, and you don't know you do until one day they decide to switch that technology into your brain, and then they start using their technology on you to monitor your abilities. And the worst thing they do is at night. The psychological tactics is in daytime when your conscious brain is awake. So what they do to people like myself is at night. The Mind Labs is Super Soldiers Talk is a website. Many people like me, survivors, I don't go unuse it.
Definitely worse at night time.
Is it? Yeah. 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 So you're in a particular program, and you have to find ways to cope. Everyone's different. I mean, I know people in England that haven't been able to survive, and because it's so intrusive, the technology, and you just literally do not know which are your own thoughts and emotions, and you have to do whatever works for that individual. You can't switch off from it. And the sleep deprivation is part of it too. And I don't normally get that myself. And they've been doing it onto me for some kind of reason. So, yeah, the worst was...
Interject, I can say that I have had it. They kept me awake for a month once. Every single time, the second I fell asleep, my body spasmed and it sent a massive shockwave through my body. And it continuously kept me awake because I pissed off a rich person online and I said something negative about someone's name that I won't mention. I think I was talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
Like, they can keep you awake. They can send radio waves to your body to keep you awake.
Yeah.
But what I want to really talk about is the fact that they can absolutely implant things into your dreams.
That's
right. Even what McDonald's is doing right now is they're studying technology, how to implant McDonald's dreams into your head while you're asleep.
Yeah.
So you'll be seeing McDonald's, so you want to eat their burger. Like, they can actually, there is technology now to, when you fall asleep, they put electrodes on your head, and anything that you think about, it'll search on the internet, and it will post images of everything that you think about. So it will show people what you're dreaming about. So if you're thinking about, opening a can of beer, for instance, I don't know why I come up with that one. It will show a picture of someone opening beer. If you're thinking about killing someone, it'll show a picture of someone stabbing a knife in someone's neck. And McDonald's is trying to make it so that they can send radio waves from satellites so that they can make you have McDonald's dreams. So there's adverts in your head while you're asleep. It sounds absolutely crazy. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds like absolute science fiction.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it's real. It sounds like it's not really anything. But I'm telling you now, they're going to actually start controlling your fucking dreams in the future. Now, I've seen the future. Not the best place to be in. But after a massive war, it's going to be a beautiful place to live again, and then it's going to go horrible again. It's a cycle. I just thought I'd throw that out there, Mike.
It's important to know, definitely, and for those, this is what I said earlier, where I see people just reliving, repeating the same painful discussions. I don't know, but I get the vibe, and I'm just one of those that feel their confusion, they're seeking answers, and everyone's like going, like somebody said earlier, going this direction, that direction, but at the end of the day, I think it was, I've forgotten his name now, but it is absolutely, that's just the icing on the cake. This is just the icing on the cake. What you just talked about is what the future is. And I'm more intrigued to know about, you're going to have a period of this. It's a bit like the Christians, right? The book of Revelations, some other scriptures. And the...
Understand.
Pardon?
I understand.
Yeah. So when
I just said it.
Pardon? What were you going to say?
No, I just said I understand, sorry.
Okay. So...
No. Carry on, Steve.
Okay.
the Book of Revelations and all that lot.
Yeah. And then they quote certain scriptures, but when I know that was man-made, yeah, and there's no real evidence of. I'm not a total atheist myself. I'm more spiritual, more sort of like in tune with. Literally, I've had certain experiences. I don't put it as like, oh, it's God. What is God? I know that word can be twisted and used in Freemasonry, and the occultism uses it for their own benefits. I know a lot of things, like what they do particularly. And so, yeah, like earlier talking about orbs, I have seen the shape-shifting.
Oh.
I saw someone try to repost that video that I got. I got banned for a long time ago, but they were able to put it on their account on this platform. But I know how they do shapeshift. I see the eyes, I see the slits in their eyes. They're more demonic, in my opinion, but I know there is positive, like you just discussed, and made it quite 100%, in my opinion, true, that they have the ability to slice and dice different species, animal and human life, and yeah, that period of darkness is more to do with that, from my opinion. And then how that you can't predict the future, well, unless you have these abilities to do so. People are afraid. I mean, I'm not afraid of dying because I do believe there is a source. I don't believe in reincarnation. Pardon?
I believe in but I am. I do believe in reincarnation, but I am afraid of that.
If you're happy, are you happy to me to ask that question? Why?
Why? Because because I'm atheist and I don't truly believe in, heaven and hell. Really, seriously. If you're a good person, if you go into heaven and you're a bad person, you go to hell. I think that religion from the Bible of the way that it is, that is told that we've had great reset before, like Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
And what really? Everybody on it has been killed because some people disappointed God. That sounds absolutely ridiculous to me.
Yes.
And then he only let one family live, and with two of each animal. How evil must God be if he wants to have a great reset and kill everyone off and then turn everyone into, if you've only got your kids and you're Noah and you got your girlfriend and you've only got your kids and you're the only human beings, doesn't everyone spawn from incest? Adam and Eve, everything spawns from incest then, doesn't it? Then you have sex with each other. This is an absolute easy belief. And you're not allowed to eat the forbidden fruit. What's he tempting people to eat the forbidden fruit for? Because the forbidden fruit is knowledge, and they're not allowed to have knowledge. Sounds like the devil is a good person to me, because he only tortures people who have done wrong. God tortures people for no fucking reason at all. So how am I meant to believe in this stupid religion? Which absolutely divides and conquers everyone.
I'll be back.
And it makes everyone all over the world. It makes us all segregated, and it makes us all believe in something different, and we all don't like each other because you believe in this, I believe in that. I think it's absolutely disgusting, and it's all a control tactic, it's manipulation, and I will not believe in what I am told, what is written by kings and queens. It is not written by God. God doesn't exist. The universe is God. The universe created us, and it's everlasting, and it's ever-bringing, and that is proof. And it's not God, is what is real. God knocks me sick, the belief in it and everything. And I mean, and that's just me being passionate about the way I think and I feel about it. If you believe in God, it doesn't bother me. You can believe in it. It's okay, because some people like and need belief, and they need to feel like they're not scared of death. and they want to see that the future's going to be good for them if they do good deeds, and it can be helpful for people, and it's really worshipping. It's it's belief. It's I can say many things about it. It's brilliant for some people, but I'm telling you, it's bad for me. Okay, darling.
Yeah. Just getting drunk. Totally. I can see that point. Totally. And also, especially the way I was raised anyway, I was taught all these scriptures. I was taught about ancient history, and it's when I got out of it, it's like, and I went completely myself atheist, and completely off religion, complete opposite lifestyle. So, I mean, I wouldn't say I've gone over the rails on certain things because I had that basic upbringing, but because of what my late mum went through as a child, she turned to religion, and that's her way of coping. But of course, everyone's entitled to their belief. I just know that we're not alone in the universe. It's all connected, and in my opinion, it's a spiritual as well. We're soul beings, we're how human is made up, but I'm also aware of the technology, how our genetics are being manipulated with obviously declassified documents, but as you said, you quite clearly pointed out a good point where there isn't any real evidence, that the humans have been engineered by non-human entities. There isn't that guy in that UFO channel was quoting a good point actually about that. And there isn't any real evidence. So it's easy to go down that route when if you don't have a Christian mainstream or Muslim, whatever mainstream religion people have a faith, but Allah, whatever. And then of course I'm aware of the declassified documents with certain subjects too. I've been a sky watcher and Project Bluebeam, so whether that's going to really happen, the way the documents apply and the declassified, or whether just another distraction. But I don't bother about all those things anymore like we used to. And what I just focus on being here now, and whatever happens in the future, it happens, simple. And because otherwise you're going in the loop. It's like in that Groundhog movie. You're never ending story. You're going to constantly go the same old, and you can't get out. You're not going to find happiness.
That's the story.
They're never going to find it. I tell you, isn't it? No one's going to find it. It really is. That's all I can put it into. Basic, bloody simple information, really, is at all. Never-ending story. Because I look at my own personal situation, right? And I'm looking at another. I've got to break away from the BS that I'm in. It's like I'm inboxed. I'm like in a box. Not physically, but scenario speaking. And it's like, bloody hell, I've done all this stuff in my life, and here I am. I'm not saying it's all bad, but I'm saying, how the hell did I get here? Right? So, of course, in my unfortunate situation, I expose the demonic things they do to children. Yeah? But I'm not a whistleblower, and I don't talk about names and people I know. And just because I've had a public life, it makes it harder to exist in my physical reality.
We do know about adrenochrome, and we know this is a real, absolute deal. Torturing children to the point where they send adrenaline through the blood and they drink it. you know, then it keeps people youthful.
I've
and it's
seen
really
it.
healthy
I've
for you
seen
to drink
it.
adrenaline.
This is what does me every bloody night. I witness all this firsthand growing up, what they really do, and what they got me involved in. And it's like, but I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not stupid enough, you know, to risk my physical existence. And this is where I chose, not deliberately, this is where the situation there, where they must have threatened my son, and for the sake of his daughter and his life, I chose not to. I did try to communicate best I could, but I knew by the time they mess about with my emails and posts and everything, you know, to look like I'm not caring about him. When I do, of course I do. It's unconditionally, you know, he's my bloody son and my daughter and grandkids. And yeah, I know the reality. What he told me about his wife when she was younger, I knew already. And what the kind of family she's involved with, unfortunately, her mother. And what my son has to do to survive for the sake, he's only doing what he has to do for protecting his daughter. And I totally admire him for that. And I wish the guardian angels are watching over him and my granddaughter and my other grandchildren, well, they're older now. And good luck to him, because he's very extremely mathematical minded, intelligent, and trader in crypto and all the digital currency. But he's also streetwise enough to know not to keep his eggs in one basket. And I did dabble into that side of digital system back in 2021, well, 2020 really, and beginning of 2021. And I lost a lot, you know. I'm not poor per se. I'm not. I've been there, done it. I've been extremely wealthy before. I've mixed. I've had all the best clothes, best holidays, all sorts. But it never made me happy. And the people I mixed with were nice, pleasant, and cool people. But there weren't real connection there. And maybe physically, but not of. You couldn't just feel comfortable and snuggle up to a film. They'll get restless in 5 minutes, if you know what I mean. And it was just, what the heck?
It was innocent. Past is past, and he was innocent. So, you know, we can't blame you for that.
If past is past. And you can. This is point you made bloody well clear and very well said. Was all about living with the now. Yeah? And people that can see that what's important is here and now in the moment, and moving forward, because that is where people can, stalemate. I've had this said to me before, actually, that I'm stuck in a stalemate situation. Well, it's true, because I'm looking for that avenue now, which, because I'm a logical individual in that way, I like to know which avenue is going to be more of a safer route. Safer route, whatever that meant to me. But practically as well. And I got rid of loads of stuff. I gave away loads of beautiful clothes, stuff I had, computers. I didn't need none of this stuff. It didn't matter to me. You know, items don't mean nothing. And as I said, long time ago, I could have owned half a bloody village. Long time ago, you know. But I was into money and all that kind of thing, and a lot of people still do. They just think that's the future. I know it helps, absolutely. Money talks. That's the way the world is, isn't it? And but still, when it crashes.
If I can tell you, if I'm allowed to speak, if I want you to tell you how wealthy I am, I'm this wealthy. I've got £4,000 in the bank, and I've got £20,000 worth of cards of collectibles in my house, which I can sell off and, you know, earn that money from it. So, and then also I can get loans because I'm not in no debt. I've never been in debt. So I can get 20 grand's worth of loans if I really want to. So my net worth of my human being is basically 44,000 is what I'm worth, apparently. What do you think about that?
Everyone's worth more than that in trust birth certificate. And this is when I stumbled across that information that it doesn't matter what you got in the bank balance, what you got on yourself. What matters is what is within the true intentions of that individual. And I don't give a shite as long as only got £2 or £3 of the name. What matters is their true intention within their soul. That's all I care about, you know. And if literally people are losing their jobs as Miss Butterfly homeless with a beautiful son, and yeah, you know, people can believe whatever they want to believe, but at the end of the day, I've seen a lot of situations, a lot of scenarios. You can lose your home any time and be on the street and literally have nothing to your name, and literally be so desperate. And that's the times we're living in now, you know. So it doesn't impress me. I'm not in, that's a wrong word. I mean, it doesn't bother me what people's got or not got, because I went through a situation when my mum died in 2018 when literally I was being screwed over by the system big time, and in many scenarios. And it's like, wow, everything happened to me all at once. I did not know I was going to survive. I won't go, it's just horrendous. So this is where I began learning the monetary system. This is my path journey in that angle. And once I learned something, I thought, if this is going to help somebody else to not go through the pitfall I went through, and the information can be made available free, I'll do that. So that's the angle I went on. And of course, because of that, the bats got up, didn't it? All these public servants, which I thought was funny. But once you know you're not a person, you're not a miss, you're not a mister, you know, and because of my practical real life situation on the other different subject is like, I'm now for 7 odd weeks housebound because of idiots of what they've been doing. But I'm glad you got that for yourself. And you see, I learned to get myself out of, I was, where we know, a long time ago, financially, once I began learning about finance and business, and completely different way of doing things, and it's like, wow, you know, and I knew how to offset debt. Debt is just literally an instrument. It doesn't exist. Money doesn't exist. It's just numbers on a computer. It's just a tangible instrument, and you can use. What's more important is if we have say we have a crash, right? Like the Great Depression period. What's going to be worth more commodity is going to be worth is what you can barter with, you know. And the way I was raised was like just in case scenario, you know, like I've talked before. I think like these people are skilled in bushcraft skills, living off grid, that kind of thing. It's not the be all end all, because like you just said, you know, the future is the cryptocurrency. It's like my son knew about all this stuff a long time before I did. But, you know, I'm a quick learner. I've always been like that. And it just takes me a while to adjust. Adjustment is not a good forte of me. Trying something new, it just takes me time, but I'll get there in the end, if you know what I mean. But, yeah, it's...
Oh, I'm bloody... not stressed. I've noticed very well that you take your time with things, you know. I mean, am I speaking out of term?
No, you're not. No.
Really?
No, you're not. So
many things I want to say to you, but you keep on talking for so long. You know,
I've got a
really want to
habit,
tell you
haven't I?
so many amazing.
I've got a habit, so I'm going to shut up. I'm going to shut up.
Oh, don't you? Oh, never. Always go on with yourself. I'm loving it. You know, I'm sat here relaxed, listening to, you know, possibly my future woman. You know, I'm liking it. I'm loving it. You know, you know what you're talking about. You know what you mean. You do talk about your son quite often, so I do understand that you feel upset that you don't still speak to him because you speak about him so highly, and you tell me that he's intelligent and he's mathematical, and you know he's been into crypto before you've ever heard. I'm recording everything what you say in my brain, and I'm seeing if you're my type of woman that I really want to be in the future with, you know, because we can travel into the future. And, you know, life is short, and we can make things happen if we really want to. You know, we're judging each other, and you say, no, I don't judge people.
I know. I know what you mean by that. I know what you mean by that.
What would your kids think if you went out with somebody that is younger than themselves?
They'd be
you know,
happy.
I mean,
They'd be happy for me.
Would they think that cougar or something? You know, I know that you.
They would be happy
you also
for me.
like intelligence.
Yeah.
Personality of a person, which it doesn't matter the age, really, does it?
No. My son, before the last time I saw him, said to me, you know, and then before my daughter, it's not her fault the way she turned the way she did, but they always said that to me. It doesn't matter about age, as long as you're happy. Do you know what I mean?
Well, apparently what you told me, because I don't forget things, I've told you that I have almost an eidetic memory. So when I hear things, apart from when I'm on alcohol, and I'm on alcohol a few days a week, so, you know, I do forget things. But I remember nearly everything. You told me that your son is 38 and your daughter is 42.
Yeah.
So I calculated that you're 58.
Yeah.
So I calculated that you're 58. You know, and I don't think I'm wrong. So you were sexually active at a young age, really, and you've been indoctrinated.
16.
You know,
I didn't even know what I was doing at 16.
You've been out with patients, you've been a model, you've absolutely lived, you've travelled the world, you've done loads of things, you should be proud of yourself. But I mean, I'm pathetic compared to that. I can't give you all the world already.
I don't want that. I don't want that. I've been there, done it, and I don't want none of that anymore. And it's like, when I got out of all that for a reason, and it's like, what I know now, the bigger picture, is more important to have a good relationship that you can communicate with somebody, and you know, and you can't predict what's going to happen in the future, or some people may be able to, and then just literally, it is going to be a rough ride. Well, what's the better going to do with somebody that you care about?
Yeah, there's no such thing as a perfect person.
No, there isn't.
You're gonna have arguments. You're gonna have no one's perfect. You're not gonna. Sometimes you're gonna hate man. You know, if you hate the person, it shows that you care for him in some ways. If you know what I mean. And I'm not sure if that absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, you can't unless they hurt your feelings because you had feelings for them. You know what I mean? There's different cases in this scenario, really. You know, what is the future? What is the future? What we want to see? You know, we're going to fight up. You know, people are going to rise up. You know,
right.
WEF, Vince Schweb, you know that he's a monster and a demon, what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he's controlling fucking Pfizer. You know, poisoning everyone with the pointy ouch and all stuff like that. Have you seen the state on what the world is going through now?
Exactly.
You know, and not everyone's even... Like, speak to my mum, and you know my mother thinks Rishi Sunak, you know, our Prime Minister, my mum thinks he's a really, really nice guy. I've seen an interview where he said... I've seen an interview, right? I've seen it. It's absolute proof, so I'm not lying, TikTok. This is truth. I've seen Rishi Sunak say Labour started giving loads of money to poor people, and in urban areas, I'm going to see that we take the money away from those poor areas. And he said this, absolutely. And I've seen the video. It's probably been taken down now. But it's him telling the truth that he's going to take away the money from poor people. You know, people on benefits, poor people. He's going to take it away. Labour did a bad job and all this lot. I say that if I did actually agree with, you know, voting on people in government, I'd say Labour to be in power. But really, they're all the same thing.
They are.
They're all the same fucking thing. They're all under the control of the elites. We know the 13 families, and you know that I spawned from some of these 13 families, so that's probably why I've got like the way I am and such a thing.
Yeah.
But it is absolutely disgusting, and it's monstrous, and the future is dystopian. But you know, I want a utopia world, right? They're telling us that there's too many people on the planet. I'm telling you now, you can fit everybody in the world in a place the size of just a little bit bigger than England. We're not overcrowded.
Exactly.
Global warming. The Earth gets hotter and colder in a cycle. It's absolutely real. It's normal. We hardly have any impact. Just all taxes, control, manipulation. It's, you know, a negative world. But like I said, the equinox, which is good and bad, right and wrong, up and down, left and right, back and forward, you know, there is reality to what we can see and what we know and what we hope for the future, because, you know, people have hope, and people are trying to protect the kids, and they're disgusted what's going on right now. You know, I don't want to be negative, I want to be positive. I don't want to sound angry and aggressive and all this, and you know that I don't feel sorry for people in certain ways, but don't use that against me, because I do love people and care for people, and I want the best for people. I want the best for mankind, and I want us all to resolve, gather together, and fight this absolute futile, ridiculous position of these people with ridiculous amounts of money controlling the world and poisoning us and making our lives absolutely shit and making us depressed, using technology which is so advanced that actually changes the way that we think, the way that we feel, the way that we do, we want, or whatever we want, and it makes us feel shit. And they're actually using this on people. They're using us, they're abusing children. They're making the world a shit place because they have no empathy. And I know that I don't have empathy, but I'm not a bad person. My no empathy is not a cruel way of being. Theirs fucking is.
Well said. Well
What do you
said.
think about? What do you think about that?
I can't fault that at all. Perfectly said, in my opinion. 100%. I think people, I mean, I've got nothing to add. You said it perfectly on that point. Definitely. And if people can't see through it, then that's their problem, isn't it? And this is a challenge.
You've seen the
Sorry, go on.
film Eyes Wide Shut, haven't you?
Yeah.
I think you've been in a situation.
Yes.
From what I come across of what you've lived and what you've experienced, I think you've lived in Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that guy got killed after creating that film, didn't he?
Yeah.
And also a lot of the things that happened in the film, a lot of the film got cut. We can't see the director's cut. We only see partially what actually happened. And you know, these things actually go on. It's truth. It's real. This is reality. This is the world we're living in.
That's right.
The people who control the world are psychopaths. And psychopaths have no empathy and hardly any emotions at all. And these are the people who control the world. What they've got wrong what I think is disgusting about them, what they've got wrong, is they think that most people need to be culled down, need to be a small population so that they're easily controlled. But what they're actually doing is they're killing off a lot of genius brains, a lot of intelligent people, and the intelligent people advance the world. They're getting rid of loads of genius. They're making the world slow down.
Yes.
Slowing the world down. They're populating in a wrong way. And this is just a genocidal religion. They're absolutely disgusting. They've got it fucking wrong. And I swear, I will not kill nobody, but I fucking feel like I want to.
Yeah. I totally get it. Because a lot of families, right, they've lost people with all sorts of situations, and especially the past 3 years, and also they've got family and partners and husbands and wives, and who just literally believe the mainstream narrative, don't they? And it's like, it must be extremely hard to be in the same household and have family members that our mindsets are not awoken to what really is going on. And it must be very hard to bite their tongue and live in that environment, and especially if they've got children, yeah. And there's people that it's just, wow. And when I hear certain people that's come on my lives when my phone is not compromised, and they say that, well, they've had to take a certain you-know-what to keep their job, or they've taken it because a husband and wife's taken it, and it's like, I know what I know is there's nothing to say. Or I can't be sympathetic because that can sound patronising. I can't say the truth because that may be frightening for them. And then I back off because they have to find it out for themselves as their journey. And I just hope that their spirit, soul, whatever that path will turn out like, because there's only so much people can warn people about. And with that scenario, when people are raised, if they survive the care system with children and are teenagers, and if they don't get the right support when they leave the care, then they're either going to be on the streets doing what they have to do to survive. I've seen that happen. Or they're going to be turned into child breeders to have children for a certain reason. And for the occult, the Satanists, I won't go into it all, specifics. And then what I've experienced, I had no idea. There's certain things I won't go into. There's certain things I got invited to and got involved in. I thought all that was normal. But you see, because I didn't know no different, but then something was able to I saw something, and because of my upbringing, my religious upbringing, I knew in my gut feeling that wasn't morally right for that age group. And so I pulled out away from it all. And that broke the chain in that regard. Otherwise, I could have still been into that environment, mixing with the same people, but this time I could have easily been an agent. I could have easily got myself sucked into, and look at what's been exposed now, the little black books of Epstein. I could tell you the top people involved in England, and I can tell you who they're connected to so easily. But if I did that, what would happen to me? Gone. And I live right next door to one of them. That's how deep the rabbit hole goes. And ever since I found out what I did, and why the hell did that nasty piece of work that lived right next door to me, and why the hell did he sell his soul to get involved? And now he's involved deep, and very deep. and he's involved nationally, and then he's made his connections because he just wanted money. He just wanted the power and the control. So you think that sleeping or having a little small flat with a 80 grand car sitting in the carway, and if you've got that kind of wealth and connections, you wouldn't have a small flat. So you see the subtle things you pick up on what's really going on with the United Nations, army, military. 2 of them next door. And when I was streaming the other day outside, just trying to get a bit of fresh air, and I'm on my own business, and that one of them gets his camera out, take a video of me, got me inside his flat, but he's a UN military trained soldier. So I thought, well, yeah, whatever. Trying to intimidate me don't work. So I thought, sometimes you have to take no notice of what's in your environment, knowing that these people are literally, their time's coming, and they won't know what's going to hit them.
Well, I can say what they're actually doing against them is they're all flocking into the hotels and everything, and people are actually burning down hotels now. You know, with a lot of these immigrants, these illegals coming in and everything. Some people, especially in Ireland, they're burning the hotel. They're absolutely sick to death of what's going on. These people, why are they letting them all flock in? No, it's out of order. It's not normal. We're going to be outnumbered. It's not going to be white England anymore. It's going to be Asian, black England soon.
Yeah.
You're going to outnumber us, and I'm not.
Yeah. Well, there's a certain creator on this platform. She's well known, and I know how she got into this industry, what she's had to do, how it's happened, and she's only about 40. She's older than she implies on her platform, put it that way. And on the old photographs, because unfortunately, survivor of a domestic violence situation, she was in care. Then she got out of that situation. She left her 2 sons behind. So she's really, literally was manipulated to move to London and